You know what I love about the state of Nevada? You can find one little spot on a map, blow it wide open, and there's all these incredible stories. Today, I'm in Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park, and there's no surprise that there's a lot of mining history here. But would you believe that as we stand almost 7,000 feet above sea level, they also have an incredible collection of fossils, ancient creatures that lived beneath the sea. Come on.
We all know that archaeologists discover fossils that tell us about the history of living creatures in the world around us. But take a walk in Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park, and you'll also find fossils of another type, the remains of a booming mining town.
Todd, good seeing you. Thanks for meeting me out here today.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
So tell me about the town of Berlin. When did it come into being and how big did it get?
So Berlin went from 1897 to 1910. In that 13 years, they mined about $849,000. All right, it was a 60-40 mine, 60% silver and 40% gold. And there's about 250 people living here, and there's about 65 buildings in the area.
Roughly speaking, how many buildings would you say are still here?
We have about a dozen buildings still standing.
Among the town's remaining structures are the machine shop, the assay office, and the mine foreman's house, currently used as a residence for Berlin's park ranger.
Paint a picture for me, if you will, of the town. There's about 250 people. What are they doing?
There was a schoolhouse up in Union Canyon. You have a lot of ladies doing laundry, cooking, basically just taking care of all the workers. We had a grocery store here, blacksmiths that were making tools for the mine.
A company town, many of Berlin's buildings were built and owned by the Nevada Company, who employed most of the residents. In addition to the miners, a doctor, nurse, grocer, and 3 bartenders rounded out the town's citizens.
This is all so fascinating, but I know you have some amazing fossils in the area, so I'm gonna go take a look. Thanks for all your time today, Todd.
You're so welcome. Come back and see us.
Okay.
The miners were so busy striking it rich, they didn't notice the prehistoric fossils lying right under their noses.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing, man?
Hey, John, nice to meet you.
Good to see you, buddy. 225 million years ago, what was going on around here?
Well, where we're standing now would have been the bottom of the seafloor, just off the coast of the supercontinent Pangaea, about 300 to 600 feet below the surface of the ocean.
And are we in the middle of the ocean here? Would we have been where?
We'd have been right on the coastline, so we were pretty much beachfront property, maybe 7 or 8 degrees north of the equator, so figure a subtropical type beachfront setting.
Man, times have changed, haven't they?
A little bit.
Somewhere along the line, somebody dug up a fossil. What happened?
Well, back in 1928, Cy Mueller was a geologist from Stanford University, and he came out in this area studying a few of the Mesozoic outcroppings. During those studies, he stumbled across some of the vertebrae from these animals that you see behind us. Not being much of a geologist, he went back to the Bay Area and contacted Dr. Charles Camp. Camp recognized those vertebrae to be those of an ichthyosaur, but much larger than he'd ever seen before, and that's what piqued his interest.
When you say large, how large are we talking about?
Upwards of 50 feet or so.
And how many have they found in the area?
37 known specimens, and based on these densities, we believe there could be upwards of 100 within the area.
Doesn't it make you just want to take a shovel and just start digging?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dr. Camp ordered a structure to be built directly over the fossils. This building allows visitors to view these ancient beings in situ, or in the original place they were found.
If you look at the landscape outside the window, this was covered in pinyon juniper sagebrush, but a few of these vertebrae were exposed naturally by erosion. So once Dr. Mueller found that back in 1928, he determined this area to be a bed of fossils.
These things were pretty big, weren't they?
They were. If you compare that to the size of a human vertebrae, you get an idea how large these creatures actually were.
The only state to possess a complete ichthyosaur skeleton, Nevada declared it the state fossil in 1977.
So take me through some specifics that we're looking at.
Sure. If you look down at this specimen number 1, this is our 50-foot animal, so that's what you see on the concrete wall outside. If you look closely, the letter A represents the skull. Like you see on my model here, that's the top of the area above the eyes. And then the 2 large bones that you see that form the letter V are the 2 jaw bones. They should come back to form an entire snout, but they were pushed back towards the body after decomposition. The letter B represents the coracoids. Those are the chest bones in between the flippers. And then the 2 letter C's represent what's left of the 2 front flippers. So if you can envision it, it's swimming towards us just like this.
So how do you get 9 in one spot?
The most widely accepted scientific theory is that these animals came into this area and it was prolific or abundant with ammonites. Ammonites are these snail-like creatures like you see in the snout on my model. As they consume these snails, they basically poison themselves. They'd been affected by a red tide. So you had this naturally occurring red toxic algae bloom, and these creatures consumed it, and it was a very localized extinction.
A total of 9 specimens can be viewed in this quarry alone, and 37 fossils have been found throughout the park. So when you come to visit, keep an eye out. There's still plenty of fossils to be discovered.
And if you're exploring and you do find something, what do?
Basically, we tell people if it's in the park to leave it where it be. If it's outside the park boundaries on Forest Service property, they allow you to collect invertebrates. So their policy is if it has a backbone, leave it alone, otherwise you can take it home.
Jeff, what a blast. Where else are you going to see this, man? I really appreciate it. I've had a great time.
Thanks for coming.
A state known for its wide open spaces, Nevada also harbors many little pockets of history and nature, like Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park. Here, visitors can witness Nevada's remarkable diversity coming to life.
Nevada has well over 20 state parks, all taken care of by some very passionate people who can fill us in on the details. Everything from the development of our planet to who we were as people. You can't ask for much more than that.